Fortunate video and photos of me laughing with an MP called Osoro were shared online. A lot of people have messaged me asking me to clarify whether I'm still with the people or I've joined government. One, I have not worked with this government. I've gotten a lot of offers and I've been approached many times ever since we started our protests. And my answer has always been very consistent. I'm not interested in working with this government as long as it keeps on murdering our people. That photo was taken by a lady legislator who was with Osoro. I was going to a members club that I go to often. And that's when I met him for the first time. But we realized that we go to the same church, and I told him what I think about how rogue and how silly they run the government, and that's what that was about. I have not been bought. For the people who are asking me if I've gone silent, it's not that I've gone silent, it's just that now the work that we're doing is not on a public scale. I'm no longer taking media interviews as I used to, and we are no longer going to the streets. So the work that I'm doing, you can find it on my profile. It's very community based, and we are working with coalition of leaders who were birthed from the streets. I have nothing to do with that man. It is highly regrettable because just even upon reflection and talking to my friends, I just remembered how badly he mocked our dead, our people who were killed by the police in this rogue regime during the height of our protests, and I see how that would have been in bad taste. I'm very sorry. I've been making these apologies in the communities that I work with, and just to clarify it, I'm not interested in working with this Kenya government as long as they keep on killing these people that they pretend to be representing. But please keep on. I think I'm grateful that we're doing this civic education work together. Keep on supporting the voices of the people who are doing well to unearth these things, but also plug into your community. This work cannot be done by an individual. We cannot peg it on one person to do it. Let's come up together. If you're interested in knowing the work that we're doing, just keep on amplifying our voices and follow us online. There's a lot of work that we're doing at community level because this change cannot come from an individual alone doing all the work. Yet again, and this is particularly tailored for the online community because in the communities that I work for, I make this apology and this clarification all the damn time because as an individual, I meet a lot of people and I have photos with a lot of these politicians. Some of them take them for very sinister motives, and some of them, for whatever reasons, they take it. But I am in no way working with any politician who's affiliated to this government. I have not been bought. I have just shifted the work that I do from a more public eye to a more private venture where I'm interacting more with the communities. And the short clips that we share is just to update people that this is where we are. We've done work in Mlango Kumi, we've done work at Kayole, we've done work at Madhare, we've done work at Kasarani, and we just keep on engaging. So please receive my sincerest and heartfelt apology. I hope this suffices and helps to clear the air that I am still very much with the people, and this fight must go on. Let us not buy into the gimmicks and theatrics of this government, of people lying to us now that because they want to impeach Gachagua, that is our problem. We don't care. They should impeach him. They should impeach Ruto as well. We don't like all of them should just impeach each other and go home. We don't care about this government because it does not care about us. And if we can, as young people, let's not fight the voices of the people who are trying to drive change. It's a very difficult thing to do. Anyone who's on the front line knows that, one, it requires a lot of money. Two, it requires a lot of sacrifice of time and resources. But we keep on doing it regardless. So I hope that we continue engaging. I hope that we continue wanting better for our country. And I hope that in this quest, if we do not get a bullet revolution, a revolution that's birthed on the streets, that we are preparing ourselves adequately to get a ballot revolution in 2027. That means we need to take up IDs, we need to follow up that IEBC story, but also not let these tribal gimmicks by politicians confuse us. Them trying to bring up this whole Rigiji story while we know Adani is going through with the deals for the airports. We know that SHIF is still being constituted and all these kinds of illegal things that they're doing. I felt that it was important for me to do this as a clarification. And let's stay, man. Our theme has always been one: Ruto must go. All his cronies, all the corrupt people, and that's what this means. All the corrupt people in government, all the things that we continue to unearth, that they must go together. We do not care, TCGO, that now you want to divide us along tribal lines. That is not going to happen. That's not what we fought for. When we were in the streets, our theme was very simple. We are fearless. We are tribeless, we're fearless, we're tribeless because tribes have been used to divide us. When we said we were leaderless, it's because the leaders have always tried to pass an agenda that's not for the people. And when we said we were partyless, it's because the parties have always used to divide us along tribal lines. Right now we're having a conversation about forming parties, and I encourage as many of you and as many of us to join these parties, or even go ahead and form those parties. Go ahead and convince us. If there are parties with the right ideology, we are going to join them and we're going to drive this Kenya forward.
I have seen the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. As a young leader who is coming up in our country, I have put my trust in God. Because those that wait upon the Lord, they shall renew their strength. They shall walk and they shall not faint. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. You have seen what is going on in our country. It is sad to say the least. Many people have died, and they have died painful, gruesome deaths. Some of them are university students, found floating in quarries with water, others abducted, tortured, and killed by people who the only thing they think about when they occupy leadership or positions is greed and primitive acquisition of wealth. I've come to tell the people of Mcoure University that even Chuka University, that even as your purpose to be in prayer during your theme for prayer, also remember that prayer without actions is useless. It has come a time when the young people of our country have to rise up and defend their nation. And they have to rise up and take back their country. Is that okay? And I am relying on you as the young people that are coming up in our country, not just to be advocates of integrity, but to show the example of integrity. That by reason of your living, these people may see that it is possible. Because we have reached a state of hopelessness in our country, where even students are in the university studying for various degrees, but they do not see the opportunities which they will transition to. They can see their colleagues, their elder siblings, their friends who went ahead of them, already cleared degrees, but they don't have opportunities. They are out there hustling. We have a bulging youth population in our country, millions of them who have resorted to crime because they need a way to earn a living. We have our girls who have had to lose their dignity and start doing things like taking nude pictures and selling them online on websites like OnlyFans and StripChat for them to be able to feed themselves. We have young men who are betting, not because they have the money to bet, but because they are hanging on hope that with this 100 shilling, a bet might go through and they might get 100,000 to start something. I have come to give you hope that it is possible, but something must be done about it. Our country is rich, endowed with resources. We have gold, we have uranium, we have petroleum, we have everything that you can think about that makes the things in this world. But most of those resources, they are shipped out of our country and taken abroad. We have governance which is only based on greed and nothing else. 90% of the time, people are thinking about how much they can steal. Just recently, we lost 12.5 billion Kenya shillings from our treasury, which was withdrawn in the pretext that it was to purchase shares for the Africa Trade Development Bank, the Africa Export-Import Bank, and also Mcoure Holdings. That is 12.5 billion. Do you know that 12.5 billion can build 2 universities? Do you believe it? That's a lot of money. It is a colossal amount of money. Just the other day, we lost 40 billion Kenya shillings. If you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or TikTok, I think you've seen my videos. 40 billion from Kenya Pipeline Corporation, Ministry of Energy, to build Line 5 petroleum pipeline from Mombasa to Nairobi. 40 billion can build level 6 hospitals in this country. We can build even 4 of them. Just the other day, a cabinet secretary for Treasury signed a letter to open an account on behalf of the people of Kenya in a bank in America called JP Morgan Chase. And they borrowed $2 billion on behalf of the people of Kenya. That is 270 billion Kenya shillings. 650 million US dollars was transferred that it is to pay a debt by Kibaki. 350 million US dollars was transferred to our account. $1 billion was transferred from that account in the United States to another account in Qatar, which was also called the Kenya Wealth Sovereign Fund. And just like that, somebody withdrew $1 billion. That's 130 billion Kenya shillings. If you are comfortable with this, I am not. I lose sleep every night. I don't think that we can continue like this. I don't believe that it is sustainable. And remember that you pay taxes. The problem we have in this country is 90% of you don't believe that you pay taxes. Now today I want to tell you that if you took 100 bob this morning and went to the shop, now ukanunua breakfast, you paid taxes. Because if a kilo of sugar was supposed to cost this much, it will cost more because there's 100 bob tax. If you buy a token, you're 50 shillings, 19.8 shillings is taxes. Therefore, this is your money. You should be worried. I should be worried. And we should be thinking about what we can do about it. Right now, we have the new funding model, which may deny many people opportunities to attend university. We hope that it shall be well. But even as we hope, let us do something to better our nation. And that's something that we can do begins with civic education. Educate your parents as the first place. Then educate your siblings. Tell them about corruption, bad governance, impunity, lack of constitutionalism, avoidance of the rule of law. Tell them about these things. Tell your friends, tell your hostel mates, civic education begins with you, okay? The only way we can change our country is if everybody knows what is going on. 90% of our country, they believe that corruption is watu wa Nairobi. They don't believe that corruption affects them. And you can understand why. It's because somebody, if they've never touched $1 million, if you tell them 6 billion was stolen from the Ministry of Health, they wonder what you're talking about. The other day here in Mount Kenya, 21 children were burned to death like firewood in a dormitory. And in that same place, there was a road that was launched that is called Endarasha Charity and Baringo Road. Billions were set aside for that road. But the Zimamoto fire engine could not get to that school to put out the fire because the road is bad. When I went there to pray with the families and to condole with them, the member of parliament came with a helicopter. So you wonder, if they show up at a funeral with a helicopter, when are they going to know that the road is bad? In that whole sub-county called Tieni West Sub-County, there's no hospital. It's just a dispensary. The children who would have survived who died in hospital, they had to be taken all the way to Naromoro for treatment. This cannot be the case. Yesterday I was in Chuka. If you follow me online or if you saw it on TV, you must have seen. The county government spent 49 million Kenya shillings to build the governor house. As though the governor was living outside when the governor became the governor. In that same county, I showed you a video of a dispensary, which is closed. You come there by appointment. It's the only health facility in that region. It does not have maternity services. Therefore, women are giving birth on the road. And some are dying. And most worse, it does not have a toilet. Just a basic amenity. A toilet, it doesn't have a toilet. It is sad and we should be worried. Therefore, fellow Christians, you know that the church in many places has been defiled. If you go to churches right now, young people are missing in church. They are not coming to church to worship God because they feel that there is a loss of trust for church. They feel that the church does not stand for justice. They feel that the church is participating in theft. But you are here and you've come to worship your God. Please don't give up. We don't believe in God because the pastor is good. We believe in God because God is God. Because God is still seated on the throne. He is the bread of heaven and living water. As young people of our nation, let's not give up to pray. I know you've seen leaders come to church, kneel down, pretend pretend to pray, and even lie in front of the church. And they lie shamelessly. I'm sure it worries you. And sometimes you wonder why you should still go to church. But I want to tell you that we don't believe in God because of human beings. We believe in God because He is God, the maker of heaven and earth. Heaven is His throne and earth is His footstool. We must continue to worship God because that is the mountain which we look up to, from whence our strength comes from. Everything that we purpose to do, including education, including looking for spouses when you finish your education, including starting businesses, starting your careers, set God first. Let Him go before you in your troubles. Let Him fight for you. Don't fight for yourself because you are only human. And the fight is against principalities of evil. Young people of Chuka University, are you ready to defend your nation? Young people of Chuka University, are you ready to defend your nation? Are you ready to defend it in the name of your God? Will you defend your nation in the name of Jesus? Please do. We cannot be the same. Before the Gen Z demonstrations began, I was a businessman going about my business. I ran a company called Morara Home Furniture, which employs 85 Kenyans. Most of them young people. I'm not old myself, I'm 28 years old. By this month I'll be turning, I think, 29. And I began struggling when I'm in campus. When I was in Kenyatta University School of Law, I used to cook chapatis for fellow comrades, and I make a shilling or two. I had trolleys of chapo smoky. I've done writing, online writing. I've done transcription. I've done many things, just preparing myself for this moment. God has given me an opportunity and a big platform. This fame is not mine, it's yours. I want to use it for the betterment of our nation. And I need your support, and I need your prayers. Because doing what I do is not safe, but it is worth it. Okay? It is not safe, but it is worth it. Remember, Jesus Christ only lived 33 years. So therefore, do not be afraid of death. All of us will die at some point. Speak for truth, stand for truth, and the Lord your God, who is the Prince of Peace, and Jesus Christ, who is the Prince of Peace, and who is the truth, He Himself will defend you. Thank you very much, and God bless you.